Hi, this is Dr. Rhonda here today to talk about dairy. Dairy is good for us. I was raised on dairy. My dad would walk to the dairy farm next to us and get dairy, fresh dairy from the farmers next door to support me with health and development. Dairy can be cow dairy can be really healthy and nourishing if it's used in the right capacity. There's different kinds now. There's A2 milk, which is supposed to be an easily absorbable protein that those who have allergies and inflammation may be able to handle and process a little bit easier. Where dairy gets complicated at this moment in time could be those people who have leaky gap junctions in their digestive system. The protein casein could get into our bloodstream and create an immune type of reaction. That could be one way. Another way is people could have a difficult time processing the protein lactose. Lactose sometimes can cause gastrointestinal upset, cause diarrhea, and that would be why lactose intolerant people can't have dairy. There could be another reason is that people's gallbladders could be really challenged and they can't process the amount of fat that is in that dairy. Other times, fat contains chemicals. It holds a great holding space for chemicals, and people who have estrogen concerns may not be able to, or it's probably not the best thing for them to have low quality chemical processed type, or not chemically processed, but animals that may not be having the best food practices that have estrogens in them, and then they consume the estrogens and it could turn things on like cancer cells and all of the sorts. That's not even what I'm talking about today. First of all, milk can be really good. It has protein in it. It has enzymes and probiotics in it. What I'm talking about today is those people who have sedentary lifestyles. They may have a lot of mucus and moisture inside of their system. They could have more fat and edema inside of their bodies. And why dairy is probably not the best for them. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's harmful. I'm saying that it's not going to be productive to them, to their health and to healing. So this conversation all stemmed from a client who loves dairy, but her body is trying to recover from cancer. And I just said it's probably not the best thing. And she loves dairy, so I said, okay, if you're going to have it in moderation and small amounts, maybe thin it out with water, maybe add some cumin or turmeric like they do in India to help moisten and cool the system, maybe that could be a good thing. But when I had a conversation with my Ayurvedic doctors, they said back when we didn't have research studies and we didn't have ways to analyze how people handle things, they would put curd on plants and those plants would overdevelop cells. What does overdeveloped cells look like these days? It looks like cancer. It looks like the body has gotten out of control. So we want to make sure that we have balance within our system from a constitutional standpoint. If you're wet and moist, it's best to stay away from wet and moist foods. Try not to put those inside of your system like dairy. So in this circumstance, what they do is they try to limit it, at least the place that I stayed. They limit the amount of dairy unless someone is having too hot and drying food. Then they'll add a little bit, they'll thin it out and help balance the person from a constitutional standpoint that way. So they did say that they recommend it for agricultural workers and growing young children because their bodies are growing so fast. They're rapidly developing. The cells need that nourishment. They need that energy, and that would be an appropriate time. I know very few Americans that live this way and need that nourishment. You know, maybe a young athlete, maybe someone who's in a cold and dry and hot climate that could balance out with a little bit of those things. Yet it still needs to be in moderation. I hope this is food for thought. I don't want anything to be thought of as diseased or wrong or harmful. We tend to have imbalanced diets when we start thinking that way. I encourage you to think more why and when And that is a more appropriate way to approach what it is, the health goals that you are trying to set for yourself. So good luck with your diet. I wish you well. And don't forget to consult your doctor about anything I have to say. Thanks.